If you are a passionate fan of American racing, you have undoubtedly heard of the legendary Parnelli Jones, a talented driver who dominated major competitions since the 1950s. Over his decades-long career, he made a significant mark in IndyCar, Baja, and especially Trans Am racing. One of his most memorable moments came in the 1969 season when the Boss 302 Mustang made its debut, becoming an iconic car forever linked to his name. With this car, Jones secured the runner-up position in 1969 and went on to claim the Trans Am Championship in 1970. The Boss 302 Mustang was more than just a speed machine. It was a symbol of the golden era of Trans Am racing. Decades later, the spirit of this legendary car was revived in a way few could have anticipated. In 2007, Ford partnered with Saleen to create a special edition that honored Parnelli Jones and his contributions to Ford's racing legacy. Only 500 units were produced, and these were far from ordinary Mustang GTs. Beneath the classic exterior lay a 4.6L V8 engine, producing 300 horsepower, delivering impressive performance and an unmistakably sporty driving experience. Instead of the standard 4.6L 3-valve engine, this model was equipped with a high-performance stroker engine, paired with a reinforced suspension system that delivered exceptional handling. It was one of the rarest, fastest, and most stable Mustangs on the track, yet it remained underrated for the past 20 years. However, looking back, we may have overlooked one of the most special Mustangs ever produced. In 2005, Ford sparked a revolution with the launch of the all-new S197 Mustang generation. Its modern retro design blended nostalgia with bold innovation, creating a striking contrast to its predecessor. With a design that leaned more towards a European aesthetic, the Mustang returned to its roots, along with a new version of Ford's 4.6L modular V8 engine. This engine now featured 3 valves per cylinder, compared to the previous Mustang GT model, which had only 2 valves per cylinder. This upgrade boosted the maximum output to 300 horsepower, up from the 260 horsepower of the 2004 Mustang GT. Under the hood, a 5-speed manual transmission came as standard, while the live-axle rear suspension was retained, an essential element that preserved the Mustang's modern yet classic character. Additionally, the interior was completely redesigned, offering a driving experience that was both nostalgic and perfectly suited to the new era. And the interior featured less cheap plastic compared to the New Edge generation. Though make no mistake, this was still no BMW. It had a retro-inspired design, but budget-friendly materials were still present. Everything about this new Mustang generation was a faithful continuation of the original Mustang's design, and fans absolutely loved it. In fact, Car and Driver magazine called it the best Mustang since April 17, 1964. In its first year, 160,000 units were sold, and the following year, sales remained strong. With all the attention this model received, American Mustang tuners like Saleen and Roush quickly entered the market with their own body kit versions of the new generation. Saleen introduced the S2081, while Roush offered the Stage 2 and Stage 3 models. Personally, I think Saleen's Mustang models have a more striking design. But what do you think? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Beyond being one of the first tuners to release versions of the S197 Mustang, Saleen actually had a special connection with Parnelli Jones. Few people know that in 1987, Parnelli Jones competed as part of the Saleen racing team and helped them secure an SCCA championship. This highlights the long-standing collaboration between Steve Saleen and Parnelli Jones in the world of motorsports. With the retro-inspired S197 Mustang, reminiscent of the legendary race cars from the 60s and 70s, Saleen decided to create a special edition to honor Parnelli Jones's legacy. A model designed as a spiritual successor to the iconic championship Boss 302. However, to make it a true successor worthy of the legendary Boss 302, they needed a different approach. Simply rebranding a Saleen S281 and repainting it in the championship-winning car's colors would have been an easier route, but it wouldn't have stayed true to the original spirit. So Saleen took 500 Mustang GTs that were designated for this limited edition and gave them a complete overhaul. They designed an entirely new body kit for the Parnelli Jones Mustang, paying homage to the classic styling of the original race car. This body kit included a redesigned front and rear bumper, new side skirts, rear window louvers, and a brand new hood featuring retro-style hood pins, an authentic nod to classic race cars. Additionally, the car was equipped with a fully functional shaker hood scoop, paired with 19-inch wheels inspired by the classic Mini Light design and custom racing stripes. This became one of the most faithful modern recreations of the legendary Boss 302. They even wrapped the wheels in Firestone Firehawk tires, a subtle yet meaningful tribute to the fact that the original Parnelli Jones Boss 302 also ran on Firestone tires during its racing days. While the car's exterior perfectly captured the vintage racing spirit, a true successor to the championship-winning Trans Am Mustang couldn't just rely on looks while keeping a soft, unstable suspension. To address this, Saleen upgraded the suspension system with new shocks and stabilizer bars, ensuring enhanced handling and track-ready performance. And the Watts Link system at the rear was added to provide better control over the live axle. For those who may not be familiar, the Watts Link is a suspension component designed for vehicles with a solid rear axle, live axle. This system helps keep the rear axle centered and prevents lateral movement between the axle and the car's body, significantly improving handling performance. Beyond the suspension upgrades, the rear axle gear ratio was also changed from the stock 3.55 to 3.73, which is widely considered the ideal gear ratio for high-performance Mustangs. The new suspension system on the Parnelli Jones Mustang was designed to remain suitable for daily driving, but it was undoubtedly much stiffer than the stock setup. Thanks to the Watts Link system, the car became significantly more stable during cornering, providing better control compared to a standard Mustang GT. However, the real highlight of this car lies under the hood. This is where many people fail to realize just how different the Parnelli Jones Mustang is from a stock Mustang GT. Every Parnelli Jones Mustang had its original 4.6L engine completely removed and was rebuilt into a 5.0L stroker engine. This disassembly and upgrade process included a forged stroker crankshaft, forged pistons, ported cylinder heads, 2 new camshafts. As a result, the power output increased by 100 horsepower, along with an additional 70 lb-ft of torque compared to the stock Mustang GT. This brought the total horsepower to 400, allowing the car to achieve 0 to 60 mph in the mid 4-second range, compared to around 5 seconds for a standard GT. The red line was also raised to 6,500 RPM, thanks to internal engine upgrades and new camshafts. This allowed the car to somewhat replicate the high revving character of the original Boss 302. Unlike the 2007 Shelby GT500, which debuted around the same time, the Parnelli Jones Mustang used a naturally aspirated engine, focusing on balance and pure driving experience, rather than just chasing raw power. While it wasn't as fast as the Shelby GT500, this version offered a far more engaging and authentic driving feel. While the new generation GT500 also had an impressive appearance and 500 horsepower, its handling was not truly optimized, especially in its stock form. If you wanted a Mustang that could handle corners well, the Parnelli Jones Mustang was almost the only choice at that time. Inside, Saleen completely redesigned the interior, featuring reupholstered seats with a distinctive orange center section, a new gauge cluster, a new shift knob, and of course, multiple Parnelli Jones badges placed throughout the cabin to emphasize the uniqueness of this edition. These cars were truly a complete upgrade package, but they came with a high price tag, $559,000, making them $155,000 more expensive than a standard Shelby GT500. In fact, they were even more expensive than the Corvette Grand Sport at the time. However, unlike many special edition Mustangs today, where a supercharger and some exterior upgrades are added before being sold at a higher price, Saleen completely disassembled and upgraded the entire engine of every single Parnelli Jones Mustang, delivering a pure and well-balanced driving experience. After all these modifications, Saleen fully reassembled the engine, creating a car that was unique in both performance and historical significance. However, to play devil's advocate, one might ask, could a GT500 priced $15,000 lower, plus an additional $10,000 to $15,000 in upgrades outperform this car? The answer is very likely yes. But when it comes to a car built to faithfully recreate a racing legend, in my opinion, this is one of the few that truly did it right, no matter how high the price tag. Certainly, the success of the Parnelli Jones Mustang, along with all the attention it received, helped influence Ford's decision to revive the Boss 302 badge in the final years of the S197 platform, leading to the release of the 2012 Boss 302. This model was highly praised by the automotive press. Unfortunately, I feel like most people have overlooked the Saleen Parnelli Jones Mustang. If you don't know exactly what it is, when you see one at a car show, you might just assume it's a regularly modified Mustang GT, a car with aftermarket parts from an American muscle catalog. But in reality, it is something far more special. If you're looking to buy one of the Saleen Parnelli Jones Mustangs, the good news is that they still occasionally appear on major car auction sites. Prices typically range from $34,000 to around $50,000. While this is still not a small amount, these cars have held their value well and will likely continue appreciating in the future. And that wraps up the story of the Parnelli Jones S197 Mustang. One of the most underrated Mustangs ever produced. Leave a comment below if you knew about this car before watching the video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It really helps a lot. See you in the next video.